Hey, I'm Jocelyn, and this is What to Eat When You're in South Dakota. South Dakota, you don't think about like a very big cuisine, right? You sort of just think the Badlands, maybe the Black Hills, Sturgis, the Corn Palace. But you know what? There's so much more to their food than just like corn and beef. Although they do have really good beef around here. One of my favorite things are kolaches. I fell in love with these in the Czech Republic, and they're sort of like if a Danish and a cookie had a baby, because they're like kind of crunchy. They look like a Danish, but they're definitely not a Danish. But in the middle, they have different fillings. You can have like jams, and sometimes they even have savory ones when people get really excited. But they're definitely like a sweet sort of thing to have for breakfast most of the time. But you can eat them all day long too, because they're just yummy goodness. So while we're talking about sweets, let's talk about kuken. Generally speaking, in Germany, you would call it more of a tart. In the States, in South Dakota particularly, it's more referred to as a cake. Either way, they're essentially the same thing. It's got sort of like a thin crust, and then it's got some gooey, yummy, like creamy filling, and then it's got fruit on top. They're just really lovely, and I like them all the time. To me, it's a really great thing to have for breakfast, but it's a great thing to have as a dessert too. So when you're in South Dakota, you should definitely try one of those little kukens and get a little taste of Germany while you're here. So we talked about beef, right? And it is a big thing here, and you'll find really great beef dishes. And sometimes buffalo will show up too. I had a buffalo hot dog yesterday at Wolters, and it was fantastic. It was really interesting. It was kind of like a hot dog, but it was also kind of like a sausage, but it tasted great. So another thing you have to try while you're here is chiseling. Chiseling is cubed meat. Often it's beef. Sometimes you can find lamb or venison, and it's kind of like a shish kebab or shashlik if you're, familiar with Eastern European foods. Anyway, it's definitely something to try when you're here. Something that they share with their neighbor in Nebraska is the love of chili and cinnamon rolls. That kind of like spicy, savory thing with that sweet thing. I guess they just like marry those two things together. Yeah, so maybe you should try it. There's also a good portion of fry bread and Indian tacos around South Dakota, and if you find it, get it. Fry bread is one of my favorite breads. It is a Native American thing all over the West, and it's really good. Often that fry bread is served with a side of fruit sauce. You can put it on top or you can dip it in there. It is often made with choke cherries, but you might find all different kinds. But I'm telling you, fry bread is really good bread, so check it out while you're here. Walleye is the fish of South Dakota, and you'll definitely find it on a lot of different menus all over the state. I'm not really sure if it's all coming out of this river, if maybe it's coming from a lake down the way, but you'll find a lot of walleye here, so that's definitely something to eat. And I want to finish up with the state drink, if you will. It's the Dakota martini. It's not a martini, but it's good. A Dakota martini is 3/4 beer, 1/4 tomato juice. Back in Illinois, we call that a bloody beer, but not many people drink it there, but it's a big thing here in South Dakota. So maybe that's what you have for breakfast on Sunday morning at brunch? I don't know. But anyway, you should totally try it while you're here because it is something to see. So those are my things that you should definitely try and eat when you're here in South Dakota. I know it's kind of varied and unusual, but they're all great foods, and I think you'll really enjoy your time here, both in sightseeing and culinarily. Bye.